Yo, today I'm gonna be reviewing Kennywood, the park in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. And the day this is being uploaded, I went there a week ago on August 6th, 2019 for my very first visit at the park. And this is a park I've been wanting to visit for around 3 years now, and I finally got to go. The first coaster that I saw that I knew about there was Skyrocket, and it was back when I was GP, and I was just looking for coasters in Pennsylvania, and the first one that I saw was Skyrocket, and I clicked on that, and I watched POV, and it looked pretty interesting. It looked very different than what it looks like now after I wrote it. Well, it doesn't look very different, but the atmosphere seemed weirder, and more GP-like, I guess you could say. And I wasn't entirely GP-like. I was just getting into coasters 3 years ago. And it actually took a year or two for me to really know, become a true enthusiast. But Skyrocket's one of the things that got me into coasters. And that's the first coaster I rode at Kennywood. And when you go up to the park, if you've never been to Pittsburgh or don't know what Pittsburgh looks like or anything like that, it's a terrain city. There's tons of hills, and I think there were some gorgeous views, more so than Cedar Point. But I see Lake Erie a lot, I guess you could say. So it's not as impressive to me. But when I go to a place like Pittsburgh and see the views, it impresses me personally. So you're driving up along sort of a cliff, and then you go over the bridge, and you see the first coaster you see is Steel Curtain, and you eventually can see Phantom's Revenge, and then you're going across that bridge, you turn left, and this is my experience. You go over the bridge, turn left, and you go and pull up to the park. You see Phantom's Revenge right there, and you see Steel Curtain in the park too. And you can see Skyrocket's top hat sticking out, looking like a middle finger in the air. And it'll take a while for you to realize that that's Skyrocket as a first timer. At first, I thought it was part of Steel Curtain. Then I realized it was blue, and it was at the front of the park, and that was Skyrocket. So, you're going to the park. There is a sky ride you could take into the park, which we did not do. So, I can't tell you really much about that. All I know is that it's there. It goes right above where you park. And so we parked, we walked into Kennywood. I went to the whatever you call it, guest services, and got my pass, the annual pass, and then we said something about Steel Curtain being closed for the day, because I had looked on the website, and it said the Steel Curtain was closed temporarily. So I was disappointed on the ride there, and I was really hoping, we had a group prayer, that it would be open, and we said something to the guy that was there about steel curtain, and we did not make it sound like it was going to be open. And then we went and got her passed with the woman that seemed so miserable, and there were a lot of staff at this place that seemed miserable, but the staff was pretty good, and I'll get into that later. But you go into the pretty decent looking entrance. I like the entrance a lot. I mean, it's nothing like Cedar Point with Gatekeeper, but the actual entrance itself is pretty cool. But like, it's nothing outstanding, but it's good, I would say. So then you got you walk man, I can't speak. You walk a little bit, and you turn left, and you'll go into the bridge, and Skyrocket will be right there, pretty much right over you. And then you'll go past that, and then there's Skyrocket there to your right. And that's what I did first, and I got into the line. We waited a couple minutes before the ride actually opened itself. So we waited there a little bit, not too long. Like I said, a couple minutes, but the line was still fairly long. So we ended up waiting in the queue line for like maybe 15 minutes. I would say 10-15 minutes. It wasn't. Actually, no, that's actually long. I don't know what I was thinking. We ended up waiting for like 8 minutes or something. So it wasn't that bad. Yeah, I got the Skyrocket off-ride footage I got in my Kennywood vlog was when I was waiting in line for it. And so then we got into the queue line, and it's cool to watch the coaster just launch right past you in the queue. And then you get to the station, and it's pretty crowded in that station because it's so tiny. And you eventually get onto the train, pull down your lap bar, no seatbelt, just a lap bar, and then the seats were kind of deep. They were deep for Skyrocket. So it's like that for a lot of launch coasters that were in. Launch coasters and inverts have like really deep seats, what I found. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised about inverts, but I'm surprised that like all launch coasters are like that. But yeah, the restraints are pretty good for that. And then you do it, and you get off of it, and they have cubbies or whatever you want to call them for all the rides there, which is great. So put whatever in there if you have to. I wore cargo shorts so I could put the stuff in my pocket. And yeah, so got off of the ride, and that's where I filmed my first reaction to it. And then we went off to, and this video is pretty much my experience at the park. Like, it's one of those videos. It's not gonna be everybody's experience, but this is telling you my experience. And so we went to Phantom's Revenge, and I ended up getting my 48th credit, and I did the front row, and well, first of all, I went to the bathroom. That's not really that important. And then I did Phantom's Revenge, and I did front row. I mean back row. Yeah, back row as our first ride, and disappointed me a little bit. That's the ride. I got 10 rides on Phantom's Revenge, but that might have been my worst ride on it. I don't know. That or one other earlier in the day. but those were only like 2 bad rides I would say I got on it, or okay rides, but it was still fun. That was the ride the most that I got. That's the ride that I got the least amount of room on of any of my 10 rides on Phantom's Revenge, so that probably had something to do with it. But then we went right back and did the front row, because my cousin wanted to do the front row, and I said, whatever, we'll try it out, and I enjoyed it more than the back row. Also, the lines weren't that long at the beginning of the day for Phantoms, and they eventually got pretty long towards the end of the day. I mean, not too long, but pretty long. So we were looking for Thunderbolt, but we couldn't find it, and that was after we had done Swing Shot, and that was actually really fun. I think we did that like 3 or 4 times, and that day, the SNS Scream and Swing, it's really fun, and so yeah, we were looking for Thunderbolt, couldn't find it. We were looking in an entirely wrong spot, but we found Exterminator when we were looking for it, and we decided to do that, and we were waiting there in the heat for a little bit outside, and then they eventually took you. I did Jackrabbit for the first time. That was my first year of Jackrabbit, and that was in the front row. And I rode Jackrabbit the most. I did it 11 times in the back row, 1 time in front row. So you guys what my favorite row was on it. And the front row was the first ride, so yeah. Like, yeah, the double down was good, but it wasn't the strongest ejector mold. It wasn't the strongest air time mold I ever felt. by any means, like, not even close. Like, at the time, it was Phantom's Revenge. The one moment for the double down on Phantom's Revenge, that was the strongest. And then we went and did Racer, which, that was my favorite Woody in the park. And, I mean, that shocked me. That was my second favorite in the park. And behind Phantom's Revenge, and it was airtime filled. I've heard from so many people it's the worst in the park, and I don't think anybody's ridden it. I mean, they're the same restraints as Jackrabbit, and you just get whipped over those hills airtime. And I know Racer has so many haters, but it's like, I don't know. I mean, did I just happen to get 9 good rides on it? I did it in every row. All of them are good rides. I mean, there's the front row wasn't as good, but it was still pretty solid. I still got some pretty good air. So not sure why that is. Not sure why I got more air than like every enthusiast, but Racer is a really good ride. So don't hate on it. So we eventually did Jackrabbit again, only in the back row, and we did it a couple times. We got right on, and with our passes, and well, all these rides we did, but so we got on, and in the back row, I felt that ejector so hard. That was incredible. You get whipped out of your seat. Only seatbelt. It's a seatbelt that's going over everybody in the train. Both two people in the train's lap. So my cousin and I had it, and after they did their restraint, we both loosened the seatbelt a little bit. And there's a bar that's going over your lap, but it's so far off your ground, off your lap. So it's like, I've never done a Buzz Bar coaster, but I think it's like the same. I think it's even taller than a Buzz Bar, but it does have seatbelt. But we pretty much had like no seatbelt on because it was so loose, and that's like higher than a Buzz Bar, but like it's just insane the airtime you get on it. Not just one double down. It's only a 40-foot coaster. It's not that intimidating, and then you ride it, and wow, it shocked me. My 8th favorite coaster that I have ridden currently as of time of recording, and Racer is my 9th. So they both give outstanding airtime. And we did Aero 360. It inverts. I did not enjoy it. We did the middle row, and then we went back and did later in the day, we did the outside row. And one of the outside rows, and it did not impress me anymore. It was a little better, I guess, but it wasn't an impressive ride at all. It was not one of my favorite flat rides. I thought it would be probably my favorite flat ride, but my favorite flat ride is still Chaos at Waldemere, and 2 would be Max Air at Cedar Point. But I actually enjoyed Swing Shot more than whatever the ride is called at Cedar Point. Skyhawk. I enjoyed it more than Skyhawk at Cedar Point. The Screaming Swing was really fun there. And then, when we were in line for Exterminator, Go Under the Water ride, which I can't really remember what that's called, but we wanted to do it. I wanted to do it later in the day, but we didn't have time to do it, and then I'll get to that later. I'll finish the story later, but we did, the rat's so bad I can't even remember the name. Thunderbolt. What a disappointment. I was going in expecting it to be the best Woody in the park, and it ended up being my second least favorite ride I rode there. Well, it was just underwhelming. I mean, the drops were cool, I guess. They were okay, but nothing impressive. Not even close to impressive, like at all. It is overrated as far as, like, when people talk about the Woodies at Kennywood. It's overrated. Doesn't deserve any love. I mean, I look at the coaster's layout and how steep the inclines look to go up the hill. I mean, if the drops looked that steep, if they were that steep, I think the drops could have some potential. However, the restraints are the worst there, besides Little Phantom. Besides Little Phantom, they have the worst restraints. I mean, out of any extreme coaster there, they have the worst restraints. You don't get, like, any room, so it's just, I never got in the very back or front, I don't believe, so, that probably had something to do with it, but the restraints had a big thing to do with it, too. And then we went over and did Little Phantom once, and went around 2 laps, and it was actually better than I expected. We were both trying to stand up on the ride. That made it fun. We were screaming, trying to stand up on it, and yeah, my mom took a video of me on it, and it was sometime I'm gonna have to show you, because that was really funny. It was cool. Not my least favorite coaster ever, and that award goes to Comment at Wildemere. Not that it's a bad ride, it's just extremely boring, and it disappointed me very much. Little Phantom is my second least favorite ever, and not because it's a bad coaster. It's good for what it does. It's just boring. Even though I hate Raptor and just like Corkscrew, I would rather ride those just because at least they have thrills. However, the kiddie rides are obviously more re-rideable. I just, like, if I had to choose to ride them, any of those ones, I would choose the more thrilling rides, because I naturally take thrilling over boring. But Little Phantom was great. Solid airtime pops, and yeah, I definitely enjoyed the ride more than I thought I would. That was the last credit to get there. I had 52. At the time of this recording, I have 54, because I went to my local fair, and I got 2 credits there, which I might talk about in a future video. I know I will when I rank all coasters I've ridden later this year. But, so, we did Skyrocket again, and that was in the front row. We did the front row of both rides. It wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I mean, it is pretty mediocre, but it's got some solid moments in there. It's not a bad ride. It's not fantastic, but I would say it's a good ride. It didn't impress me too much, but it's a pretty fun ride. And the airtime, it doesn't really have airtime, I would say. It's okay. It's fun. So then we got over to, we checked Steel Curtain, and my grandma asked one of the workers there about Steel Curtain, the status on it, and she told us it was definitely not gonna open for the day. So yeah, that broke my heart, but it was. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. There's no buts. It's just. Yeah, I can't really do anything about that. It was pretty disappointing. And so we did the woodies that were by Racer and Jackrabbit, and it is we did those a lot, and I enjoyed them as usual. 9 rides on Racer, 12 rides on Jackrabbit that day, and at the end of the day, we went over to Phantom's Revenge. We were gonna marathon that. We were in line. We were going in line. We saw people climbing down from the lift hill, and we didn't know who those were. And then we eventually realized that those were workers. So Phantom's Revenge got stuck. Apparently for the second time that day. First time that day, earlier that day, I did not see that. But the second time that day, I saw workers climbing down from it. And that was as we were going into line. Then we were going into line, and they were doing a couple test runs. And it was going just fine. And then they sent people on the next train, and that train was going up super slow. It was, all that weight just couldn't carry it. It was going super slow, and it stopped. I could see it coming. The worker had to get the operator's attention. He was screaming at the operator, telling her to look, and she eventually looked, saw the Phantom's Wrench had stopped, and we were gonna be on that train, but we ended up going for the next train, and it was only one train opposite at the end of the day for some reason, and so it was good. It was a good ride. My number 2 favorite coaster. We got 10 rides on it. I'm satisfied with it. Even though it had closed down for the day after getting stuck on a lift hill 3 times. Phantom's Revenge broke. But yeah, that was a good experience, I guess you could say. And since we were talking about the operations at this place are pretty terrible. It takes forever for them to freaking dispatch. I don't know, it's you could tell they're not even trying, they're just, I don't even know. It's their goal is to make it, over a minute and a half, the average dispatch time there was probably 2 minutes. It was horrible, but it seemed to go faster when other people were on train, but all of a sudden when we got into the train, it didn't seem as fast. I mean, that's probably how it is for everybody, but yeah, no different for me than for us. But at the end of the day, we got on Jackrabbit. Instead, we marathon that. We did Racer once, and we ended up marathoning Jackrabbit. We got 4 straight rides on Jackrabbit. We were in the back row, and we asked to stay on that without even getting off, without even just staying there straight. And we did that 4 rides in a row, and it was absolutely fantastic. Such a great time. Again, 12 rides in total. Pretty satisfied with that. The crowds were kind of heavy-ish that day. So glad we had the passes to board the rides right away. And my ride count there, I think, was Swing Shot 4 times, Aero 360 twice. Black Widow was closed, so No rides on that. And Steel Curtain obviously was closed, so no rides in that. Bantams are binged 10 times. Thunderbolt twice. Racer 9 times. Exterminator once. Skyrocket twice. Jackrabbit 12. So, it was a pretty productive day, I would say. Those are pretty much all the rides we did, but it was fun. It's almost Cedar Point tier for me, if I'm going to be honest. It was really fun. And Steel Curtain wasn't even open, so that says a lot about how great the park is. The views are great, the atmosphere is great. Oh yeah, the staff. There were a couple miserable members of the staff. There were few. But then there were some nice ones, like, this one, a black guy said something about there not being enough, like, there being like too many light skins on the crew. I don't know. It sounded racist to white people, but I don't get offended that easily, so I did not get offended. I just laughed at it because that was, I don't know, I found it funny. But yeah, that was cool. And then this guy who was operating, the second time I rode it, he was operating Skyrocket, and the announcer thing in the station, whatever it is, said said something like, enjoy your ride on Skyrocket, the most extreme ride at Kennywood. And we both looked at each other like, what? Most extreme? And then he said, I've never heard that one before, like, they just added it or something, I don't know, but we both know that's not the most extreme ride at Kennywood. That's like, I mean, of course, Phantom's Revenge and Steel Curtain are more extreme than that, but yeah, that's probably the third most extreme there, probably, but maybe Air 360, I don't know. But that's definitely not the most extreme ride at Kennywood. Tell you that. That is a fact. Not even an opinion. Just facts. Yeah, there's some other things there too. The staff got friendlier as the day went on. And it was a pretty good day there. I mean, of course, staff were the one member. The girl was really nice for letting us go on 4 times in a row. And then the other one on wouldn't let us go on more than once, but that was only because they were ending the past things because the rides were starting to close. It's not a chain park, like where they just let you go on until the end. Like at Cedar Point, they let you go into the line like a couple minutes past closing time, and then they stop it and they get everybody on until everybody's through. But at Kennywood, they stop lines a few minutes before closing time, so pretty much the opposite, which that's a downside, but the prices there were typical amusement park pricing. The food there I thought was good. Wasn't the best theme park food I've had, but it was good. Never had bad theme park food. I just like food, but it was good. The bathroom's better than Cedar Point, so that's always a good thing. Doesn't really say much, but it's still better than Cedar Point, which is a good thing. And I would say that the atmosphere was great. The layout was good. I liked the size of the park. It was easy to get to everything. It's only an 80-acre park. Pretty freaking tiny. And if you've never been to the park, I'm gonna tell you like where you get to everything, or like which coasters are next to which. So at the front of the park, you'll have Skyrocket to the right. right there. To the left, you'll have Phantom's Revenge, which is near Thunderbolt, and you kind of have to go under Phantom's Revenge. The one side, it's Exterminator, and the log flume, and on the other side is Thunderbolt, and then you walk past the Thunderbolt side, and you go past Thomastown and Kittyland, where there's the Phantom, and then you go towards, you'll see Arrow 360 to the left, Steel Curtain, which is there, and then to the right is Steel Curtain, you'll see Racer, and then to the right of Racer, you'll see Jackrabbit, and so those are pretty much directions, I guess, to the park. It was, so, yeah, really good park. I enjoyed it so much. I'm going to try to go back there later this year, to hopefully September 8th, when the tickets are $11. So, if you want to go to Kennywood this year, go September 8th. Tickets are $11. I mean, I want everybody coming so the lines are crowded, but if you're an enthusiast and you want to come meet with me at Kennywood, probably September 8th, tickets $11. I'm gonna try to go back there to ride Steel Curtain and to get some re-rides on some of the rides. I'm gonna be going there later in the day, since we don't need to get all the credits, but Steel Curtain, gonna try to ride that finally. Hopefully it doesn't break down before I get there, but yeah, once again, phenomenal park, absolutely fantastic, love it so much, and I feel like it gets hated by some people, loved by some people. The ones that love it are the smart people. Don't hate on this ride before you go, don't underestimate it. Well, actually, you should underestimate it, because that will shock you and probably make you love it even more. I knew it was going to be a good park. It was an amazing park. I love it so much. That's my review on Kennywood. So, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment your thoughts on Kennywood, or tell me if you'd like to go to Kennywood, what you think Kennywood looks, or just what you think of this video. So, thanks for watching. This was a longer video. Hope you enjoyed. I'm probably going to do some more longer videos coming up, so can do more and more of those. Goodbye.